Hey everybody, just Jesse here, welcoming you back into my garage, my man cave, for another day of accountability. Today's Monday, August 10th, the year 2020, and how are you guys doing with your accountability? I hope you guys are doing well. Today I read through Isaiah chapter 55, and that has to deal with victory. And who doesn't love victory, right? But it deals with how leaders communicate until they see results. That's the victory that we're looking at. And in Isaiah 55, we see an amazing communicator. God invites all people into his offer to quench their thirst. Now, only God can fulfill their desires and quench that thirst, but Isaiah says to look for God while he can be found. Now, verses 10 through 12 confirm what I say a lot, and that's how God fills our cups to overflow onto others, much like how the rain and the snow come down from heaven and water the earth and then go back into the ocean to do it all over again. Now, God's word will accomplish the goals that he sets for it. God's word won't return to heaven empty. So, do you want to know what it takes to be a good communicator? Well, let's take a look at verses 10, 11, and 12 and see how we can be a better communicator. And I'll just read it right now because I want you to hear more than just explaining why. So verse 10 says, "As the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields the seed for the sower and the bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve purpose for which I sent it. And you will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills will burst into song before you, and the trees of the field will clap their hands." Now, that's awesome to see how God really explains how his word works. So, verse 10, we see that God's word will get results 100% of the time. It also shows that how it will furnish tools and resources for us, and how it will meet our needs, every one of them. Next is verse 11, and verse 11 says that his word will perform his will. Now, we have our word, and sometimes when we place our word into action, things come into fruition. They don't always perform our will because our will is not God's will. But occasionally our will does line up with God's will, and what we say does happen. And we can learn how to communicate better and learn how to have our word match God's word more often, the more we get into the Bible and the more we grow closer and have that relationship with him. But let's see verse 12, and verse 12 says that his word will satisfy the hearers. Now, that's epic because my word doesn't satisfy anybody but me occasionally when I get to boast about it, and I'm not supposed to do that very often. But God's word will satisfy everyone who hears it. Now, they may not know it at the time they hear it. They may be frustrated at life and have a lot going on, but God's word will satisfy the hearers 100% of the time, and that will come through life. So in hearing these 5 things that will make God an amazing communicator, how do you stack up with those 5? Can you as a leader actually make those claims? And how do you evaluate your communication? Does your communication bear fruit? These are all questions that I have to ask myself, and questions that I want to ask you. But first of all, I know that as a leader, I lack in most of those. It's definitely something for me to work on. It's something for me to see in my life how I need to grow closer with God and work on my communication. And I want to be a better leader for everyone. So let's just do this together. Let's maintain accountability as leaders, as Christians, to the people around us. It doesn't matter if they're friend or foe. We need to be the accountability that we seek. We need to be that accountability for someone else, because we're seeking it, somebody else is seeking it, and we need to be that person that stands up and becomes accountable for our own words and actions. So that's going to leave me with, let's be doers of the word as well as hearers. And as always, go and grow, be safe, and be blessed. I always like to end with those 3 little catchphrases because I think that they're strong in what they say. Go and grow, be safe, and be blessed. There's not a whole lot in this world that make people joyful, but knowing people are growing makes people happy. Knowing people are safe makes people happy. And when God blesses somebody, that makes people happy as well. So I like ending with that, and especially with a communication type thing, because we can all look forward to growing, we can all look forward to being safe, and we can all look forward to being blessed as long as we work on it and as long as we grow closer to God. So if you guys do like what Isaiah 55 said, go ahead and put that thumbs up. And I love seeing that. It's very eye-opening to me how many people actually do that. And if you think I could be doing anything a little bit better, or you just want to say hi, leave me a comment. Let me know how your life is going. Let me know how your day is going. I love to hear from you. I will answer you. And if you don't know what this video is and you stumbled across it and you want to know what I'm doing, this is just my way of putting out what I've learned from reading God's Word. And every single day that I read it, I share a video log with you. And today was in Isaiah chapter 55. And what this does is this keeps me accountable without having to figure out who my accountability partner is, or if my accountability partner will come through, because I know that personally I'm not the greatest accountability partner, and that's something I want to work on, and that's something that I'm learning through being accountable in the Word every day here, is that there are days that I miss, and I know that when I miss those days, those are days that could potentially let somebody down. And I don't strive to let anybody down. I strive to do my best and to always spread the love of God, and to bring God to the people around me. So that's why I do what I do. That's the whole reason for the Just Jesse channel. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today in my garage, my man cave. And as always, go and grow, be blessed, and be safe. Talk to you later.